Hi everyone, today what makes a bishop good or bad? This lesson is taken from my app Chess Trainer as usual, that you can download on the App Store. And what is interesting about the bishops is that both your bishops are not exactly the same piece as opposed to the rooks or the knights. Indeed, you have one light square bishop and one dark squared bishop. That makes a big difference. The fact that each bishop can only access half the chessboard often decides if this bishop is good or bad. What makes a bishop good? There are several conditions actually. The bishop has to have a wide shooting range. The position must be open. It's better for the bishop. And it is even better if the bishop can attack both flanks at the same time. On the contrary, a bishop is bad if it's in a closed position and blocked by the pawns. I hope that the following positions and quizzes will help you getting familiar with this concept. First one, this is a typical kind of positions where the bishop is strong. Indeed, it is well placed. It targets both wings, queenside and kingside, and at the moment white has no real threat, but we can already say that white has the upper hand in this position, which is not the case with this second position. Here this bishop is bad because the position is completely closed and the range of that bishop is narrow. Even that pawn here on e4 is actually not that much an asset because it's blocking the range of that bishop on c2. The pair of bishops is an interesting feature. It's a very strong weapon because with a pair of bishops you can control the whole chessboard, each bishop coordinating perfectly with the other. That's why the bishop pair is usually seen as a very important asset. Now we can start with practical positions. Let's start with this bishop on e2 and tell me if this is a good or a bad bishop. This is not too difficult a question to start with. Of course, this is a bad bishop, and the reason is that these pawns d3, e4 and f3 are completely blocking this bishop that has at the moment a very limited range. White's plan in the following moves should be to push some pawns, maybe f pawns for instance, to try to give a little space to this bishop. You can remember that if your pawns, and particularly the central pawns, are on the same color squares as one of your bishops, then this bishop is considered a bad bishop. Now take a look at this position and tell me whose bishop is stronger here. Is it white's bishop or black's bishop? Black's bishop is stronger here, mainly because this c6 bishop puts an interesting pressure on the white e4 pawn. I would say that this is probably a draw though, but this black bishop is certainly stronger. So black has the upper hand. Next, we're going to have a look at the French defense, which is very well known for a fact about one of black's bishops. It starts with e4, e6, d45. In this particular defense, one black piece often remains blocked. And this is an issue in this defense, which is this piece. If you know the French defense, you know that the c8 bishop is often your main issue when playing this defense, because with these pawns on e6 and d5, usually black has a lot of troubles developing this bishop. Next position again, you see that bishop on g3 for white. Would you say it is a weak bishop? This case is certainly very interesting. This bishop is weak here. and you may be surprised because actually the bishop attacks e5. It is on the same color than the black pawns, so normally it should be able to threaten seriously these black pawns. But the point is that white has no way to break black's pawn structure e5, f6, g5, h6. There is really no way. Even d4, it's not possible because of this pawn on c5. It would take ages. That's the reason why, in fact, this bishop is successfully blocked by the black pawns. And we can probably assume that it will remain trapped in the corner for the rest of the game, incapable of doing anything useful. Where should you place your bishop in the opening? In most openings, your bishops will be well placed on c4 or b5 for the light square bishop, or on f4 or g5 for the dark squared bishop. And same for black with the symmetrical squares. But there is another way to develop it, which is very interesting. It's the fianchetto. And to fianchetto a bishop, you have to move first your g pawn or b pawn forward, like here, and put your bishop on the free square. And now look at the result. Your bishop controls the long diagonal, and it is very powerful. This fianchetto setup is very common in chess openings. The only drawback, of course, is that it takes 2 moves instead of 1 to develop your bishop. A last example on good and bad bishops that is very famous as well, this time in the endgame. How do you evaluate this position? Is white winning or is it a draw? It is a draw. Despite this huge material advantage, the problem is that this bishop does not control the promotion square, which is a dark square. So there is no way white can force the victory here. Look at that, h6. Now all black has to do is to shuffle his king between g8 and h8. King g6, king h8, king f6, trying to activate the bishop. King g8, bishop e6, check, king h8, and now if white plays, for instance, king g6, it is a stalemate, so this bishop has to go back to f5 and there is no way to progress. It is a draw. To sum up this chapter, bishops are better in open positions. Moreover, the pair of bishops is a very powerful weapon. Bishops are weak when blocked by the pawns or when their range is limited. That was the conclusion. I hope you enjoyed it. You can like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified of the next video. I hope to see you on the next video. It will be about the knight. See you soon. Bye bye.